What is printmaking? Printmaking is an art process where you transfer an image from a surface onto paper. To prepare for the opening of the printmaking studio, we will be practicing some different printmaking techniques. In this video, we will create simple Collagraph prints using cardboard. Later, we will learn how to do collagraphs with additional materials. Did you notice that the words collage and collagraph are similar? Collage means to glue. Collagraph means to glue and draw. When you make a collagraph, you are drawing or creating a design from various materials and gluing them to a hard surface. Collagraph prints have two steps. First, you must create a plate. Then you will cover that plate in paint and press it onto paper to create a print. How do I set up? To make a printing plate, you will need these materials: a piece of cardboard for the actual printing plate, some thick paper. In this case, we're using a manilla folder that's been cut into smaller pieces, a pencil, scissors, a mixture of glue and water provided by the teacher, and a paintbrush to apply the glue mixture. First, plan your idea. In our very first collagraph, we are going to be exploring shape. You may choose to work with geometric shapes. These are the shapes you most often use during math class. Each of these shapes has a name, and they are always drawn the same way. For example, a square always has 4 sides, and a triangle always has 3 sides. You might also choose to work with organic shapes. Organic shapes are inspired by nature, and they are irregular, which means they can be drawn differently each time. Take a moment to decide if you'd like to use geometric or organic shapes. Perhaps you'd like to use a combination of both in your design. Draw your shapes medium to large in size so that they are easier to cut out with scissors. Please note I used a Sharpie pen, but you will be drawing your shapes with a pencil so that you can erase and make changes. Write your name and class code on the back of your printing plate using a Sharpie. Plates can be made out of different materials. Ours are made out of cardboard. Plates are covered with ink and pressed onto another surface to create an image. You can use your plate multiple times to create many copies of your image. Arrange your shapes on the cardboard and try out different designs. You can overlap shapes, which means you position one shape on top of another to partially hide the other shape. Here's my final design for geometric shapes and organic shapes. Carefully open the lid to the glue and set it off to the side. Then dip your brush into the glue mixture and rub the brush onto the back of your pieces. Press and hold, counting to 10 to make sure that your piece sticks flat to your printing plate. Continue gluing until all of your pieces are attached to the cardboard. This printing plate will be brought to the drying rack so that it can air dry and be ready for printmaking. We will make the actual print next week using paint and a brayer. That's all, folks. For today, anyway. To print the collagraph plate you created last week, you will need 2 pieces of construction paper. You may choose the colors, a pencil to write your name and class code, a tray of ink provided by the teacher, and 1 foam brayer. A brayer is what artists call a roller, and a rubber brayer. This one is firm to the touch. This one is squishy. Begin by writing your name and class code in the bottom corner of the paper. Today, I am pretending to be part of Miss Bryan's class, so I will write K for kindergarten, a dash, and a B for Miss Bryan. I will do this again in the bottom corner of my second sheet of paper. Set your paper off to the side and roll your brayer through the ink or paint, making sure to cover the entire brayer. Then roll your brayer in different directions across your printing plate until the entire surface is covered with paint. Pick up your plate and flip it over onto the center of your construction paper. Use the clean rubber brayer to roll along the back of your printing plate, making sure to get the corner, edges, and middle of the printing plate. Then lift up the cardboard to reveal your design. Move your wet print to the drying rack. To make your second print, reload your brayer in the ink or paint and cover your printing plate. Then flip your plate over again, center it on the paper, and use the rubber brayer to press along the back side of the printing plate. Then pull your plate off of the paper. This printing plate can be recycled. Move your wet print to the drying rack. Here are my finished prints. You may need to do some problem solving with your Collagraph prints. This print does not have enough ink. The image is difficult to see. If this happens to you, recycle this paper and try again. This time, load your brayer with more ink. This print has too much ink. The edges of the shapes have run together and paint has oozed out underneath the printing plate in the lower right-hand corner. If this happens to you, recycle your paper and try again. This time, load the brayer with less ink. Thanks for watching. I can't wait to see your Collagraph prints.